Welcome back to another episode of Toy Tuesdays with Talent. Today's episode, we're carrying on with X-Men 97 Wave 1 with Magneto. Let's get into it.
Cerebro activate.
Cerebro online.
Please pull up file Magneto 2023.
Accessing file. Magneto 2023. Magneto, Max Eisenhardt. First appearance, The X-Men #1, September 1963. Created by Stan Lee, writer, Jack Kirby, co-writer and artist.
Magneto is perhaps one of the X-Men's greatest villains of all time. He is the antithesis to Charles Xavier. Whereas Xavier seeks coexistence between humans and mutants, Magneto feels mutants are superior to humans, hence the name Homo Superior. Often he plays the role of villain, but occasionally he is an anti-hero. He has a goal, and his goal is to protect mutants at all costs. X-Men 97's portrayal of Magneto was exceptional. Seeing Magneto in his original outfit is always a pleasure, and the X-Men 97 rendition is no exception. Cerebro, can you please pull up the action figure?
Magneto, X-Men 97 Wave 1, released in 2023. Retail price, $24.99. Aftermarket price, high, $30. Low, $21.99. Accessories, 2 alternate hands.
This version of Magneto from X-Men 97 Wave 1 was one of the action figures I thought was going to be really hard to find. Turns out I was wrong again, just like I was with the Bishop. This was actually one of the easier ones to find, and you can actually still find it cheaper than it cost at retail. In my opinion, it is lacking in accessories. It does have 2 closed fists, but that was it. No power effects, no alternate head or anything like that. That being said, with what you get, it is a beautiful action figure. The dark around the eyes, under the helmet is fantastic. The cape kind of billowing up around the shoulders is a beautiful take on this. This version of Magneto is probably my second favorite version of Magneto that they've come out with. Him being pinless helps. However, the Magneto that came out in the Family Matters 3-pack is still probably my favorite Magneto. If I were to do a little kit bash between this one and that one, I'd probably get my favorite Magneto. However, I am a big fan of this one. Magneto's had many outfits over the years, but I'd have to say that when push comes to shove, this is actually my favorite version of Magneto in the traditional red and purple, and I really like the fact that they gave him the dark around the eyes under the helmet. It may be a while before they release another Magneto, considering we got 2 different Magnetos in X-Men 97, and to be quite frank with you, I'm fine with that. This Magneto is a fantastic Magneto. I think it'll hold up for years to come. And I do have a bunch of other heads from different Magnetos that I could put on here if I wanted an unhelmeted Magneto head. My favorite moments with Magneto in X-Men 97 is kind of hard to pick, because when he was the hero, he had some great moments, and we'll cover that when we cover that action figure. But in this outfit, my favorite moments have got to be the times on Asteroid M where he just went full-on Magnus. Those moments where he's really showing off his powers. He can take on the entire X-Men team, as well as shutting down the entire planet. Magneto is one of the most powerful mutants on the planet. He is an Omega level mutant. And speaking of his powers, let's get into them.
Powers and abilities: magnetism manipulation, astral projection, psychic shield via helmet, genius intelligence.
Okay, magnetism and manipulation, astral projection, psychic shield via helmet, and genius intellect. Let's break this down for a second. The magnetism and manipulation is very complex. He is able to not just control and manipulate metal, he can manipulate microscopic or atomic magnetic atoms. So he can actually reform matter. He can control the iron in someone's blood if he so deems worthy, and stop your heart from beating, or stop the blood from flowing through your body. He's able to move asteroids with his mind. He's able to create force fields through magnetic manipulation. And in doing so, he is able to manipulate or levitate objects that aren't even metal. When it comes to the astral projection, it is said that Magneto has some sort of latent psychic abilities, which also help him prevent psychics from penetrating his mind. Although he does use his helmet as a psychic shield, there have been times where he has been able to push psychics out of his mind without using his helmet. Magneto is also a genius intellect. having studied with the likes of Xavier. In certain storylines, it's been said that he helped Xavier build Cerebro. And there were even times Magneto himself used Cerebro to locate certain mutants. Being the genius he is, with competence in various fields of advanced science, especially in genetic manipulation, particle physics, engineering, and other fields of technology, he has built advanced weaponry, space stations, superpowered humanoid life forms, and devices that generate volcanoes and earthquakes, block telepathy, and nullify all mutant powers across a few miles except for his own. He can manipulate a large number of individual objects simultaneously, and has assembled complex machinery using his powers. He can also affect non-metallic and non-magnetic objects to a lesser extent. He can generate electromagnetic pulses of great strength and generate and manipulate electromagnetic energy down to photons. He even uses the electromagnetic energy that surrounds Earth to fly. He can turn invisible by warping visible light around his body. Another way in which Magneto frequently uses his power is the projection of force fields, which selectively block out matter and energy. These fields are strong enough to withstand the simultaneous detonation of multiple thermonuclear weapons. Hence, Magneto is invulnerable to most harm when surrounded by his shield and can survive in deep space thanks to it. He can also channel his powers through his own body to increase his strength and durability far beyond human limits, and has a baseline reaction time 15 times faster than those of regular humans. Okay, Cerebro, can you please pull up the power grid?
Accessing power grid. Analyzing subject.
You guys want to see these power grids for yourself? You can either check out the Marvel Metal Cards, or you can go to marvel.fandom.com. They have their own version of the power grid there. Alright, let's start with strength. He is at a 2. Normal human. This makes sense. Nothing in his power indicates that being able to manipulate magnetic fields would make you any physically stronger than you are. You can lift the same amount as you could, whether you had the power or not. On to intelligence. He's at a 5, Albert Einstein level. This man is a certifiable genius. Like we said earlier, powers and abilities, I don't know if it's necessarily a power, but his intelligence is really high up there. He helped Xavier invent all sorts of things, including Cerebro. He was able to come up with the idea of creating a helmet to keep the most powerful psychics out of his mind. Alright, on to speed. He's at a 5, and I gotta be honest, this one is a surprise to me. Now I understand, if you are able to manipulate magnetic fields, it means you can probably manipulate gravitational fields as well, which would allow you to travel at great speeds. However, this does surprise me. But there you have it, folks. He is at a 5. Mutant speed, faster than a world-class sprinter, not quite at light speed. Magneto is one fast mutant. Alright, let's go on to fighting ability. He's at a 4. World heavyweight champ. This man knows how to fight. Not a surprise. He spent all of his life fighting just to survive. Being the leader of the Brotherhood, as well as being a member of the X-Men at times, I'm sure that helped him out. He's been pitted against the world's best, which has brought him all the way up to World Heavyweight Champ fighting ability. Alright, on to stamina. He is at a 2. Normal human. If for whatever reason you're able to penetrate his magnetic fields, get his helmet off, get him down to his weakest point, his stamina is that of a normal human, so you can probably wear him down pretty easily. But getting through that magnetic field is gonna be a problem. Let's move on to agility. Again, he's at a 2, normal human. He's not doing any handsprings or flips, and I can't imagine he would. This man's been around since World War II. He's an old man. Now, they've had many things in the comics that have regressed his age or explained away why it is that a man of his age is even able to stand without a walker. But yes, a man of his abilities doesn't really need to be that agile. He's got his magnetic force fields to protect him, so he doesn't really need to get out of the way. Being at a normal human agility, no shame for Magneto. Let's move on to the next one. Energy projection. He is at a 6. This is the third 6 in a row, folks. He is fusion. Solar. His blasts are right up there with Onslaught, which totally makes sense considering he is one half of Onslaught, and he's also up there with the likes of Bishop. These mutants can blast energy so powerful they're equivalent to a blast from a solar flare. Beyond atomic bombs, beyond missiles, lasers, grenades, this guy's blasts are so strong he can take out pretty much any anybody with one hit. And while Magneto might not be the most powerful villain the X-Men have ever faced, he is definitely one of the most cunning. And you mix in the abilities that he does have, it makes him one fearsome foe. Looking at his overall stats, between his intelligence, his speed, his fighting ability, and his energy projection, Magneto is a villain you don't want to mess with. If anything, you want to try and reason with him and get him on your side. But be wary, even if you do that, there's a slippery slope, and he tends to slip. Magneto is definitely one of my all-time favorite X-Men villains, and in X-Men 97, it was no different. Fantastic seeing him try to be the good guy and then revert right back to his old ways when the humans slipped up the way they always do. Was Magneto right? You tell me. Let me know in the comments. Speaking of X-Men 97, Cerebro, let him know.
Be sure to check out X-Men 97 Reactions with Talent. Don't forget to subscribe.
There it is, folks. X-Men 97 Season 1. The entire season is now up on YouTube. You can check it out. Please do. And please subscribe. Definitely help the channel going forwards. I have big plans for this channel, and you guys are the ones that are going to make it happen. I really appreciate you. With all that being said, I'm Talent, the Eccentric Collector, reminding you, keep collecting. And until next time, Excelsior!